So if we've met before, you know that on this channel, we're constantly analyzing and learning from other YouTubers and finding ways to apply what's working for them to our own channels to grow faster and make more money. But if you're a small YouTuber like me, you're probably gonna find it hard to relate to people with hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers. I know I certainly did when I first started my first channel, and I still do with my second channel, with this channel, because even though it's doing fairly well for its size, I'm still not getting the views that I think I should be getting, because I think my content is pretty good. I mean, I've got lots to improve, but yeah, I think I'm putting a lot of value out there, let's put it that way. This is why I've decided that I'm going to start reviewing smaller channels and smaller YouTubers on here, mainly because I think that in many cases it's easier to learn from someone who is just a few steps ahead of you rather than someone who's at the top of their game, you know? So today I'm going to be looking into a fairly new channel that's killing it. It's called Beauty and Beyond, and it's a faceless beauty channel, less than 2 months old, and it got fully monetized in only 4 weeks. And not only that, Z, the creator behind it, is also monetizing her content on Patreon, and she's also successfully running a Discord channel for her audience. So how did she manage all of that in less than 2 months? And most importantly, how can we do something similar? Well, let's find out. So the first thing that I think Z has done really well is that she managed to find a blue ocean. Blue oceans in marketing terms are unexplored market areas, as opposed to red oceans, which are already full of competition and therefore full of blood and sharks. Beauty, as you can probably imagine, is a red ocean. It's full of competitors, it's a huge industry and an overly saturated market. So it's hard to stand out, even for bigger channels. But Z has found a way to do something truly unique. She has found the space in the existing niche that is beauty, where the competition is completely irrelevant because she's simply offering something different. So how can you do this? Well, the first way, and one of the best ways to do it, is by injecting your personality, your views, your stories, your perspective on things into your videos. Being yourself, you know? Z does this a lot, and she's not scared to put some people off by sharing her views and her opinions on things. The second way of doing this is by using your unfair advantages. An unfair advantage is an element or a quality that you have and that other people don't have. And so it is something that you can use and that will give you a slight edge over your competition. And Z has a few unfair advantages. The first one is knowledge and expertise. Z has been in the beauty industry for years. She used to work at a beauty store and she used to be a social media manager for them. She's also a professional photographer and she goes to design school. So she probably has an eye for beauty, an eye for, you know, art and aesthetics, at least more than most people. And according to her, she's been putting things on the internet since she was 13 and she's now 26. So that's years and years of experience creating content and attracting attention. And even though she says that she's never managed to monetize any of it effectively, that is still a lot of experience. And secondly, she's clearly very, very passionate about beauty. And that is an unfair advantage as well, because as you know, YouTube is hard work. It takes a lot of time and effort. And especially when you're starting, you're not seeing the results. You're putting in the hours, and unless you're someone like Z and you know what you're doing, it's pretty hard at the beginning. So if you're not passionate, if you don't like what you're doing, it's going to be hard. And in Z's case, her videos clearly take a lot of research, and she's also very clearly, you know, knowledgeable about the topics that she's talking about. She wouldn't be so knowledgeable if she hadn't spent a lot of her free time researching the topics that she talks about. You can't really do all of that without passion. So in her case, being passionate about beauty is an unfair advantage. The bottom line is we all have our unfair advantages. You may not know what yours are. I'm just gonna give you some examples. For example, money can be an unfair advantage. If you have a lot of money or you've got money to invest in your channel from the very beginning, you can invest in a good camera and a good microphone, and you can start your YouTube channel with great production value, and that's something that is going to set you apart from your competition. If you've got great communication skills and you're good talking on camera, your public speaking skills are great, then you're going to find it super easy to just talk to the camera and sound supernatural, which is something I really struggle with. Or if you're in a certain location, that can also be an unfair advantage. There are so many. I suggest you sit down and have a think about yours, because we all have at least one or two. And if you can't find what yours are, think about your education, your background, your circumstances, your life experiences, the things that you've struggled with and the skills that you have developed to overcome those obstacles. Think about your location, where you're based in the world. Think about the languages that you know, what you think you're good at. And if you can't think of anything, ask the people around you that know you well what they think you're good at. Because many times we're not objective enough and we think we're pretty bad at something or we suck at something, and then other people disagree. So yeah, there you go. That's a few ideas for you to think about your unfair advantages. Another way to make your content more unique and set yourself apart from your competition is by taking inspiration from different industries. If you're a beauty YouTuber, chances are that most of the content that you consume online relates to beauty. And the same goes for most of us, whatever content we make, whatever niches we're in. But that's a mistake, because one of the best ways to make more original content and set yourself apart from other people in your niche is by taking inspiration from people in different niches in different industries. Z, for example, took inspiration from podcast style YouTubers. If you watch her content, it will remind you of a podcast. So really, her ideas are not that original. No one's ideas really are. We all take inspiration from other people, and that's fine. Just to give you a personal example, one of the best performing videos on my Spanish YouTube channel is a video that I didn't copy from someone else, but I remember I was watching this other video from a finance YouTuber, and that video had done really well for him. And obviously my video had nothing to do with his. My video was a book review and his was about, well, I can't even remember. Oh yeah, it was about 3 lessons that he learned when he was fired or something like that. So it was completely different to my video, but I saw that his video had done really well for him, and I watched it out of curiosity, and I tried to find out why that video had done so well for him, and I realized it was because of a specific story that was pretty emotional. And so what I did was find a similar story in my life. Obviously we're not living the same life, so it was a different story, but I took some elements of his story and how he was narrating the whole thing and tried to incorporate that into my story, and that video with elements of his video did incredibly well. I'm not saying go to other people's content and copy what they're doing, but definitely take inspiration. When you watch other people's videos, switch from being a consumer to being a creator, to being a producer, and try and identify what is working for them. You know, what is it about their videos that is working, that makes the videos truly great, and try to find ways to apply that to your own content. And this doesn't only apply to people in other industries. You also need to see what people in your own industry, in your own niche, your competitors are doing. Because if you really want to do something that is truly unique, you need to see what other people are doing. And I'll give you another personal example. When I started this channel, I knew that I wanted to talk about how to grow on YouTube. So I did a competitor analysis. I looked at what other people in this industry were doing, and I realized that, one, some of them were businesses like Think Media or video creators, like not really people. So I was going to be different. I realized that many other YouTubers who were actually, you know, actual people and not really businesses were focusing a lot on metrics and analytics, on like CPMs, video retention. They were focusing a lot on the algorithm and not really on people and what works for people. And I decided that I was going to focus on the psychology behind it, on optimizing for people and not algorithms. And when I looked into more specifically people who were analyzing other channels, people like Paddy Galloway, who is someone that I really look up to, I realized that he was only making videos about huge creators like MrBeast or Beluga or Dream. So what I'm going to do is do something slightly different. If I analyze a super big YouTuber, what I'm going to do is focus a lot more on their trajectory, sharing how they started and looking into how they grew. And I also decided that I was going to focus on my own trajectory a bit more and document my journey a bit more. So yeah, when I started this channel, I looked at my competitors and I tried to find ways to be different. And Z has done something similar. Well, I don't know if she's done a formal competitor analysis, but her content is completely different to what you would expect in the beauty space, in the beauty industry. Mainly because her focus is on information and audio rather than visuals. And it's really rare for a channel in the beauty space to focus on audio and the actual information, the actual message, rather than visuals. Because we're talking about beauty here, you know, we're talking about something that is super visual. And also her video format is completely different. As I said, it feels a lot more like a podcast, and what she's doing, this thing that she's doing where she puts one image on one side of the screen and then a video taken from Pinterest or TikTok, whatever, on the other side of the screen, is completely unique. I haven't really seen it in any other channels, especially not in the beauty industry. And it also really works for her because if she's shy or whatever, she doesn't need to be on camera. And at the same time, even though I'm sure that sourcing the videos and then matching up the content on the screen to what she's saying saying probably takes a lot of time. She's finding videos that already work in other platforms like TikTok, and she's using those in her YouTube channel. So she already knows that the video is going to do well because the content has done well in another platform, and at the same time she doesn't have to dedicate any resources to filming that B-roll. She can just take it from someone else and possibly credit them instead. So that's definitely working for her. The second thing that I've noticed about Z's channel is that there's a lot of clarity. There's a lot of clarity around her message and her mission. She's found a problem to solve for a very specific audience, that is women who believe in pretty privilege and want to achieve their beauty goals, their beauty potential, and she's presenting herself as the expert guide who's going to help them in their journey to attain that. And this is such a simple thing, knowing what you're doing on YouTube and who your content is for, but many YouTubers have no idea, or at least they don't have a clear idea about all of this. If you ask them, they can't give you in like a short sentence, like an elevator pitch, they can't tell you what their channel is about and who they're targeting. This doesn't sound super important, but it is, because when a perspective or someone who could potentially be your subscriber comes across your channel and they don't know what they're going to get from your channel, what sort of value you can provide for them, they're just going to keep scrolling because there are so many options, there are so many people creating content online that they're just going to keep scrolling and move on to the next channel. So you really need to be clear what your channel is about, and you need to make it really clear for your followers as well. And part of being clear about that is also being super clear on who your channel isn't for. Z is not afraid to say that her channel is not for someone who's not pro surgery or pro enhancement. So if you're the kind of person who's going to judge someone else, who's going to say that someone else is superficial for doing that, you're not welcome on her channel. And the same goes for people who think that women get cosmetic enhancements to please men or to find a man. If you are the sort of person that thinks that about women, again, you're not welcome on her channel. And this is really important, like knowing who you're targeting and knowing who you're not targeting. And the other thing that Z does really well that I've noticed is that she will introduce herself and what her channel is about in every single video. This is something that I struggle with because I keep thinking that if I keep telling my followers, this is who I am, this is what I do, it's just going to be repetitive. But I recently watched this video by Alex Ramosi and it really got me thinking. He was saying how he realized that when he used Alex Ramosi in his titles, people weren't responding so well because yes, people who already knew him were clicking the video, but people who didn't know him weren't interested because they didn't know who Alex Ramosi was. So when he switched from Alex Ramosi to $100 million CEO, people started clicking more and more. So yeah, he was sharing this in one of his recent videos and sharing the impact that it had had on his growth, which was massive. It really got me thinking because yeah, I used to think this was repetitive, but thinking about it now, I watched all of Z's videos in one afternoon, and in every video she will in some way, shape, form say that she's a beauty consultant, say what her channel is about, explain that she's got a community and that she's very active in the community tab, and she will drop her Patreon and her Cash App for donations and all of that, and she does that in every single video. And I realized that I didn't really find that repetitive. So yeah, I guess that's something that I should probably apply to my own channel. I'm going to try and do it from now on. The other thing that I noticed about Z's channel is that she's super prolific. As I said, the channel is less than 2 months old and she's posted 19 videos. 19 videos. That is a lot, and that's alongside Patreon content, running a Discord channel, going to design school, and God knows what else, because I'm sure she does more things with her life. So yeah, again, this got me thinking because, you know, it's the eternal dilemma, quantity versus quality. Usually, if you want to put out lots of videos, you need to accept that to some degree, the quality of each video is going to go down, because unless you have a lot of money or to hire a team around you, or unless you have a lot of free time, that's usually what happens. You know, when one goes up, the other one will go down. And it's that balance. So yeah, it's the eternal dilemma. Should you post more videos by accepting that the quality is not going to be that good or as good as it could be, or should you post less videos and make them really good? And I'm usually more pro publishing less videos and making them better, but in this case, when you're starting a channel, I think that you really need to get in the reps. When you have a background in content creation, when you've never made YouTube videos, you know what good looks like, but you don't really know how to get there. And you need to get in the reps and keep improving with every single video. And the quickest way to do it is by practicing. And at the same time, again, when you're starting and YouTube doesn't really know, like the algorithm hasn't figured out what your channel is about and what sort of audience you're targeting or what sort of audience could be interested in your videos, the more data you give the algorithm, the more data points, and with data points I mean videos, the easier the algorithm will find the people who might be interested in your content. So when you're starting, and especially if you don't have a background in content creation, definitely try and get as many videos out as you can. When you've made 100 videos, then you can possibly say, okay, well, let's just try and focus on making less videos but making them really good. The other thing that I really like about Z's channel is the emphasis she places on community and creating a community of like-minded women. The fact that she's so active in her community tab, the fact that she's created a Discord, that's all really good. Not only because it's gonna help her create better content, because the more you talk to the people you're trying to serve, the better you know them, the better you know what sort of content they're gonna enjoy, the easier it gets to get feedback from them. And the more you interact with them, the more they're gonna support your channel, the more they're gonna engage with you because they're used to engaging with you. And yeah, the bigger your network's gonna be, and that just means more opportunities. And also, the warmer your audience gets, the easier it gets to sell to them as well. And Z has made it really clear that she wants to monetize this channel, and building a community is the best way to do it. And honestly, the fact that she's so honest about her monetization goals and the process behind her videos, and you know, the insecurities that she faces and the sort of surgical or cosmetic enhancements that she wants to get, and the fact that she says that she's trying to improve her speaking skills, all that kind of thing, all that vulnerability is also really good. It makes her really relatable, and it's really helping to build her personal brand and her reputation of being a girl's girl. So that's all really good. I think the community element is key on YouTube and any social media site, really. I think we all want to be part of something bigger than ourselves, and personally I find it hard to meet people in real life who are into the same things as I am, who are into creating YouTube channels, building audiences online, monetization, that sort of thing. I work as a doctor, and because of my background in my job, most of the people that I know are other doctors or engineers or lawyers, and I love them. But it would be so cool to connect with people who are into the same things as I am, and hopefully push each other and help each other. So if you're in a similar position and you don't know many people around you who are into this sort of thing, then let me know in the comments or hit me up on Instagram. Or if you would like me to create a Discord, you think that would be interesting, definitely let me know, because I'm happy to create one. I just need to know that there's more people out there who think similarly and who would be interested in something like that. So yeah, if that sounds like you, let me know. And last but not least, I want to talk about Z's Patreon. Not so much about the content in itself, because I haven't really seen it, but more about the idea of monetizing early, because this is something that I've struggled with, and I have lots of limiting beliefs around that, I've realized. I used to have this idea that you had to build an audience first and then sell to that audience. You know, the idea of jab, jab, jab to the eternity and then finally a right hook. And I think I've grown out of that idea over time. Let's look at Z's example. 4 weeks into her YouTube journey, Z mentioned in one of her videos that she might make a Patreon to share content that she wouldn't normally share on YouTube. Things like videos going into beauty topics in a lot more depth, or content about dating, or you know, her dating experiences, things like that. And then she asked her followers if they would be interested in something like that. And then someone commented, yeah, do it. And she did. And a few days later, she had posted her first Patreon exclusive video, and she posted a preview of that on YouTube. And yeah, the rest is history. So as you see, the process was pretty quick. And I have a couple of thoughts about that, mainly because I've made a lot of mistakes in that department before. As you may or may not know, I have another YouTube channel in Spanish, in my native language, and it's got over 200,000 subscribers. So, you know, it's done fairly well. But I've never really monetized that audience because, yeah, I think it's mostly because I had this limiting belief that, you know, I've never done it. I've never really educated my audience to pay for stuff, to have to pay for content or have to pay for products. And I think that if I did it now, it would probably come as a shock and it wouldn't be so well received. So yeah, that's something that I keep thinking about. Should I monetize that audience? Should I not? And I've realized I have that limiting belief, you know, that people wouldn't pay for stuff because I've never really educated them, taught them that, you know, some things they have to pay for. So yeah, that's I don't know, something to think about. But now after 4 years on YouTube, I'm a lot more pro selling, and I've realized the importance of starting early. Not just to teach your audience what to expect, but also because the earlier you start monetizing, the earlier you can start testing your ideas and iterating and improving your product. So with this other channel, I have decided that I'm going to start monetizing early. I've realized that I get a thrill out of growing YouTube channels, making videos that could potentially go viral, and finding viral videos and finding finding out why they went viral. Like, that's something that I just love doing. So I'm going to start a little business around that. I'm going to be helping to start with 3 creators completely for free in exchange for feedback and a video testimonial. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, if you want to grow your channel, grow your audience, and possibly monetize it in the future, hopefully in the near future, then have a look at the website, see if it's for you, and apply. The reason I'm asking you to apply is because I don't think everyone's cut out to be a YouTuber, and that's absolutely fine. And I want to make sure that you're the type of person and the type of channel that I can really help succeed. So if this sounds interesting to you, the link will be in the description. Feel free to apply and I'll get back to you. And even if your application isn't successful, I will still give you some tips to improve and to grow your YouTube channel faster. So really, you've got nothing to lose. Have a look at the website and apply. Okay, so just to recap, here are the keys to see success in the form of actionable tips that you can apply to your own channel. 1, find a blue ocean. Your industry might be saturated, but if you manage to make your content unique, your competition will become irrelevant. 2, have a clear value proposition and remind your viewers in every video. 3, be prolific, especially at the beginning. 4, start a community. Use your community tab, start a Discord, ask questions, engage with your comments, etc. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and polarizing. That really helps on YouTube. And 5, monetize early. That's all I have for you, really. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like help with your channel, check out my website. As I said, I'm going to be helping 3 of you completely for free, and I'm really excited to see what we can achieve together. Have an amazing rest of the week, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!